Robbers Hot Rods. Wow. We're going to kung fu this van into shape. Hopefully. We've got a little list we're going to knock out. It's been about 9 seconds since I finished the last video on the wiring. Here's our list. Turbine speed indicator. It's just fun to say that it has a turbine speed. Atomic batteries to power, turbines to speed. It's an old Batman reference. Zip tie up the O2 wires. Transmission fluid. You don't want to start a new transmission with no fluid. The pump is dry. You pour some in first. Connect the brake booster. Bleed the brakes. We'll go down this list. It's not that. A couple of things will be a little time consuming, but it's not that much stuff. Then we can test fire it, get it up to temperature, retorque all our bolts, put it on the ground and drive it and see how it does and see our shift points and stuff. But we still got to put a driver's seat in, stick the dashboard back in place, a few little things. So let's get moving. It won't take that long. We'll get it. As you can see, the driver's seat is in. The wires are somewhat covered up with a piece of rubber. The computer lives happily under here, so when we turn the key on, we have lights and we have the digital display. Now, I'm not going to go through the entire setup process because frankly that's very boring and you sit through enough boring stuff, but let's see what happens when we start it. And it's not smoking. Well, she's running. We got good fuel to air, good idle, good battery voltage. The IAC is at only 3%, which is fine. Coolant temperature 198. Still don't. I put the dash more or less back in, and more or less than more, but. So we got no gauges, but it's time for a test drive. We got this little test drive going. You can see we got the new tires on, putting in the finest cheap grade fuel that we can get right here at the travel destination. I should probably have rinsed this thing off, but so we're riding around with blue back here. Poor thing's a little dusty. Probably hit this thing with a squeegee, wouldn't be a bad idea. Running pretty good, I think. Trees are blooming. In Tennessee on the American Legion Memorial Highway. Check the gauges. Yeah, they look just like they did when we left. So, I guess we're okay. If there's any music playing, you know, it goes nuts. All right, it's been on a hell of a test drive, about 1,200 miles or so. We're gonna see if it's used any oil. We're gonna retighten all the exhaust bolts. The intake manifold bolts will probably be fine, but we'll check a few of them. We'll just basically go through it front to back. Definitely check the rear end differential fluid levels now that it's all circulated because it was new. Brake fluid, coolant, the works. Also, we'll wire up some gauges. I don't know why I drove the whole way with no gauges, no carpet, just wires. It was just a test drive, and I thought, you know, I've got the little handheld and it reads out all the vitals, so really I had gauges except for fuel and speedometer and little things, details. So, all right, I gotta tell you, everything under here looks good, except there was oil everywhere. Not everywhere, but there was definitely oil. And I am reminded now what happens if you don't have a crankcase ventilation system. All the crankcase pressure will precipitate and drip oil, and it'll run down your engine and onto your exhaust and whatever. But we will remedy that. So I cleaned up a little bit of that, but the exhaust was, I retightened it. It wasn't really loose. No major leaks. It's got some pinhole leaks along the way. Got a good one right here in this, like, you know, crotch area where it's got a good one right here. But overall, a couple little pinholes. Oh, and this thing, this band clamp, it's kind of garbage. It's leaking on both sides pretty badly. I should have done one of those V-band clamps, and I will do that when I do a couple other little things for the exhaust. But for the test drive, it held up really well. No issues, no major vibrations. Still have to check the differential here, so let me do that and see how we go. Well, she's running, she's driving. She's got a few issues. She's got a fuel pressure surplus. I'm not sure what that's about. She's got no functioning gauges of any kind. Nope, not a one. But we're gonna put a dashboard in there. We're gonna put a different fuel pressure regulator, I guess, and tidy up the little bits of stuff underneath. She's just about ready. I mean, the list has gotten much shorter. A few things got added on, of course, when you road test her, but she runs, she drives. Thank you very much for watching. Gauges on the next video. The whole dashboard, it'll be pretty cool. And the fuel pressure regulator. I might do them all in one thing. And then we'll put her through her paces a little more.